Welcome back to Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel, and I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. Welcome back to the Lovely Lab. And I am, of course, your craft host, Fam the Fabulous, coming to you with video number 2 on the design team project mentioned in the last video, the junk journal, well, the prayer junk journal. And so, as I mentioned before, as the newest design team member for Pleasant Creations, using some of the digitals that she has in her shop, I am creating a prayer journal, and it'll happen in a series of different videos. So this is video number 2. Today I plan to create a couple of journal cards, a couple of clusters, and possibly a belly band if time permits, and if I don't get too many interruptions, okay? Because the house is full. Today seems to be lawn day for everyone in our community, and so I don't want to overwhelm you with all the outside noise. So I'm going to do what I can, and hopefully you'll follow along with me. And if you have some materials nearby and you want to, say, I don't know, put together some of these journal cards as well, go ahead, pause the video, come on back. And in the meantime, if you're not a member of the crafty community here at Livie'S Lovelies, go ahead and click the subscribe button so that you don't miss anything, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. All right, so let's get started. Without further ado, let's just jump right in. So as I mentioned before, this is a prayer journal. We won't go through that. If you need a refresher on what that is looking like, go ahead and click that little button up top, and it'll take you to that video where I do a flip through of those pages. And I also showed you in that video these journal cards. And so today I'm going to work on a couple journal cards on camera, just so that you have an idea of what the process is like. Okay, so now remember I said these are tea dyed. Now the reason these are tea dyed as opposed to coffee dyed is because, now this is coffee dyed. You see the color here? It's brown. This is tea dyed. There's a pink hue. So this gives a little bit more of, it has a warmer tone to it, and well, it's pink, so a pinker tone. And then the coffee dye, you can get as dark as you want to with that, but I wanted it to have some type of age effect, so I didn't have to ink the edges. Now, so the key to making journal cards and tags and embellishments and stuff like that for your journal is to use elements that you've already worked with in your journal. So that would mean the papers that you've cut down and they're now scraps, you've saved them and put them off to the side so that you can use them in the future projects or the other aspects of the journal. So my main thing right now would be to cover up what I already have down, which is, as I mentioned before, this is my son's flashcards from first grade and math cards from kindergarten. So waste not, want not. And I'm just going to glue down and create some different, cover up what I have here. And then, it's not really, don't have a major rhyme or reason to it. You just kind of want to make it cute and give it some type of visual interest. So move it starting from there. Nope, like I said, I had to do it that way. Okay, this is not an exact science, so don't feel like you've got to measure, and now if you like precision, feel free by all means. Use your, your break out your ruler, but this is definitely not one of those things where you have to be precise and give accurate measurements and things. Now I have a whole pile of scraps from the last from this project, so I'm using what I have to get the look that I'm looking for. Okay, so. And I don't want too much of that pink to show because it's a little pinker than I'm using in other parts of the journal. And I want some roundness or some tears. So I'm going to tear that there. I don't want it too neat because there's nothing about this journal that's all that neat. And then let's see if I can use this, and there's a lawnmower, guys. Now some of these I'm going to end up just some of these I will end up stitching, and some of them are exactly how they're going to be, okay, when I get finished laying them down. And you can leave, the beauty of the coffee dyeing is that you can leave the back plain, you know what I mean, and still have room for journaling. So that's, we're going to go ahead and glue this down. I don't want to take too much time, and I don't want to oh good gracious, I don't want to overcomplicate this. Let me get that out the way and put this off to the side. And this vellum right here doesn't always stick using the glue sticks, so this might be one of those things that I end up having to sew down just to make sure that it stays put. And that's something you have to gauge with each element, you know, the different mediums that you use, making sure that it stays down, or you put it somewhere where it's layered upon and you don't have to worry about it laying down, because there's so many different elements on top of it. So you just keep those things in mind. So if you're working on a journal yourself, feel free to drop in the comments below what type of journal you are working on. And if you're familiar with Pleasant Creations, let me know what type of products you've purchased from her Etsy shop, because she's got really cute vintage style, and well, she has quite a bit of digitals, but she has the thing I like about her digitals is that even though it has a vintage feel, it still has like modern colors to it, so it doesn't just look old. It doesn't just look like, you know, you're looking at antique art. Now, no shade towards anybody who does like antique art, but I'm just saying that's not my, it's not my aesthetic personally. So we're going to use this piece on this second card, and we ain't gonna be here all day, y'all. And we'll build around this. And I'm using this old gift card just to burnish this glue down and keep it, make sure that it stays. We don't want it popping up. We don't want our hard work being in vain. So, no, that's too dark. So we do that just to make sure that it stays put. And I feel like I need some red in here when I do that. Let's see, let me get a tear going somewhere. Because a lot of the scraps are straight edged. You may have to try and bring in some roundness, and the best way to do that is by tearing or bringing in circles. And I'm no art major, I just have learned that from some of the greats here on YouTube. Too many straight lines can make it a little boring, okay, make it a little predictable. So you want to give your eye the opportunity to dance around the creation, and you do that with rounded lines. I gotta pull that up. Rounded lines and what have you. Okay, and I feel like I need to bring some dark in here, so I may bring that newspaper. Yeah, that works. That may work for me. No, let me see if I've got something else. Bear with me, folks. And it is back to school time right now for many of you. Now, our kids started back to school in the beginning of August. So, you know, we've been kind of back in full swing for some time now. And because I homeschool, as many of you know, that means my days are sometimes a little fuller than I would like. But it's all for the goodness of my child. Let's see. Okay. I think I'm going to use this. Let's see if I can. Now you can fussy cut, or you can just, oh, that's cute. That's cute. Okay, we'll do that. A fussy cut, I could have fussy cut that out and made it a little cleaner, but that's no fun, right? All right, so we try and get that. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Get that right where we want it. Lay it down, and voila. Okay, so that's 2 cards. Now let's work on the belly bands. Now here is the interesting part about the belly bands. Okay, so you make them a little bit bigger than, a little bit longer than the page that it's going on, just so that you can cut it down and there's no major issues with it. Okay, and then you can use your scraps to add and layer upon those, like I'm doing now. Okay, add little bits and pieces and doodads. And don't worry if something is too much, because you can always cover it up if it doesn't give it the effect that you want. Oh my God, this cat. And I hope I'm not going too fast for y'all. Oh, let me put this down. Let me put this right here. If I am, you can always rewind. That is, it's not deli paper. This is paper that you get from, what's it, the bakery at your grocery store. And it, when I go and get my husband his cookies, his weekly, you know, ration of cookies, I pick up an extra few sheets to use in the craft space. And that way we have, it gives a really good look when you crumble. So guys, as I was finishing up that last belly band, a call came through, interrupted the video, and so I'm gonna move on to the, let's see, the clusters. I've got 2 clusters to make. I'll make those and then we'll finish up, and I'll show you all of them in the end. Okay, so let's just start with the bases for the clusters. Okay, they don't have to be any particular size, but what it will do is allow you to either use them as tuck spots, or you can also use them to create another journal card if you don't have enough in your project. So we're going to go from there, and the cluster is just going to have one focal point, one something that stands out. Let's see, no, that's not going to stand out. All right, and let's see. I'm going to change that red to this rose, and I'll probably end up using a some form of wording, stamped wording, or something to that nature on here, just to bring it all together and, you know, bring it into the theme of the book. So now I have these circles that I punched out of, let's see, the scrap paper. I punched those out because they're clusters. I didn't want them to be too boxy. You know, I've got a lot of squares and lines and stuff like that, so it's good to have some type of curvature to it all, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You don't want to have too many straight lines, and although this is crafting and there's no rhyme or reason, you do want to make sure you have some visual interest in your project. So that being said, that's where I pull the I pull in the circles. And so you can use a circle punch or, you know, flowers that have curves and so on and so forth. But you get the idea, I assume. I assume you get the idea. All right. And then this is just a stamping of, came out of one of the stamp sets. I think it's one of the inspirational floral stamp sets, and it just has some different little elements in it that I used. I think I used it in this project. All right, so we got that. We're gonna lay that down. My husband's coming in right now, so might get even louder, folks. Might get even louder. Okay, so now we will use the red circle and just layer some more scraps in here. This is great because there's a little bit of red there. I'll leave that like that. And let's see if we can find some other visual interest. Oh, here we go. Perfect. And then it has the cross. And let me see if I can find... Oh, perfect, perfect. Well, I say perfect. Y'all don't know what's, you know, you're not in my mind, so you have no idea what I'm thinking of when I say that. All right, let me build this and stop thinking. Because you're probably saying, girl, that don't look like nothing. It may not look like anything just yet, but trust me, it will. Let me move this over here. I'm left-handed, so everything's going in the same direction. My eye sees it left, right, you know. Okay. Now let's see what we're going to put the circle there, that, and then we'll put the cross as the visual, a cute little visual. All right, let's get it glowing. Almost finished, y'all. Oh, how you doing, Butterfingers? I'm great, thanks for asking. Okay. Class is getting ready to start back up, so I'm not rushing, but I am trying to get this done for y'all. I hope you do so appreciate it, and I hope if you aren't doing it right now, I hope you will try your hand at it, or you know, when the camera's not rolling. Okay. Good Lord, the glue. The glues, folks. Okay. All right, so let me move everything off to the side so we can get a good visual of what we're working with. All right, so when the cameras weren't rolling, here is what I put together. I did this one and that one. So we, well, no, this one and this one. When the cameras wasn't rolling and I thought y'all was watching, but you wasn't. And then on camera, we did these two little clusters. Okay, now remember, we're going to add wording to these at the end, just when we need to tie everything in together. And you didn't get a chance to see me finish making these, but you saw me make this belly band. And again, we're going to tie this in using digitals from the kit. Okay. Matter of fact, let me pull those out and see what we can use. And last but not least, before we go any further, because we do need have one more step, was the journal cards. Okay, so I think I jumped the gun. I probably should have just not been so quick to end this video so you guys could get the full effect. All right, so let's go through our downloads. I fussy cut out quite a few. And before we go any further, okay, so this is my embellishment book. I got the idea from Liz. She handmade hers. I didn't do that. I found this at Dollar General, and it was $1. And it's a 3-ring binder, and it has folders. I didn't buy a whole lot of folders. There was just 2 for $1, so I got a pack with the 2. So this is holding the large digitals, and I'll show you those. So these are the ones that I've already cut out, printed on cardstock, white cardstock, just 40-pound cardstock. and I've inked the edges of them, and those I will use somewhere in this prayer journal if I can. And then I made these with I made these pages with, believe it or not, folders and cereal, the bags from out of the cereal box, and I just sewed them down, cut them to size and sewed them down. All right, so these are her digitals from the kit. So let me pull out a few. Let me pull out the ones that I think are the right size, and we will see which ones will go with which. All right, so I'm going to have a belly band that goes side to side. Let's start with the smallest stuff. I'm not going to do the embellishments, but I'm going to do the belly bands. Now that would work. I might have to cut that off. That would work. And let's find one with a little bit of red in it. Unfortunately, I think I used it already. Let's see. I might have used that one already, but fear not. We've got other colors we can work with, like the green and the orange. I could cover this up, and there we have it. Oh, that'll be perfect. So we use that one for that. We use that for that. Let me go ahead and glue those in place. Okay. Belly bands, you ask. What are belly bands? Well, they're just little pieces. They're strips of paper that goes on your page that you tuck items behind, like you would a belt. It kind of keeps them right in place. I'm going to cover up the red here. There we go. Okay, so that's one. And then here is the second. And I might have to cover up the red on that as well. And I will. Not a problem. All right, so we've tied these two little precious things in. Okay, and I'll be sewing those in place. Now let's move on to the journaling cards. Now remember, on the back, they can write. I'm going to cut this excess off. Okay, and I may end up having to cover up that red too. Not that I want to. But girls got to do what a girl's got to do. And I will cover that up as well. Like so. All right. Perfect. And that's the beauty of paper. It's just paper. You can always cover up parts that you don't want with more paper. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and I'm not gluing the top part. Well, no, for this one I can glue the whole thing. But on the belly bands, I did not glue the top parts because I didn't want that getting stuck down. So just keep that in mind, that you don't want anything pressing, or you don't want anything to obstruct you being able to get in and out of those pockets. Oh, that's perfect. All right. So I think this is it, guys. I think we did a great job. Thanks so much for hanging with me and for keeping me company while I work on day 2, the second video of our project for Pleasant Creations. If you have any questions about the digitals you see here or the items that I am putting together, feel free to drop a comment below. As always, I thank you for your encouraging words, your support, for helping me to build the channel and building our craft community. And until we're back here again on YouTube, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative in crafting. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafting community and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie'S Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.